So do you want to start with one of
You
yours?
hit it, baby. I was making a face when you started.
Oh.
I was doing this.
Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Heather and joining me today is my husband, Jerry.
Hey, y'all.
And on my channel, I talk all about faith-based dating and relationships, how to date with purpose, and prepare for a healthy and thriving marriage. So if you aren't already subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you are a returning subscriber, hello and welcome back. Also, if you are over on Instagram, be sure to follow me over there. And let's go ahead and jump into today's video. So I'm really excited to announce that we are starting a new Sunday series on my channel where I will be joined by my husband, Jerry, every Sunday to talk about all things faith-based dating, relationships, marriage, and any questions that you guys want to submit that you would like us to answer on our Sunday video. So I will be including some instructions in the description box on where you can send your questions. And in today's video, we are going to be sharing 3 things that we learned in our first 3 years of marriage to kick off the series. It's actually going to be a little bit more than 3 things because I asked Jerry to write his 3 things down. And then I wrote my 3 things down, and we actually don't have any idea what the other person is going to share. So it should be interesting. So I'll go ahead and get us started with the first thing that I learned in our first 3 years of marriage. So I actually wrote them down in my phone. And the first one was, no matter how perfect you are for each other, your marriage will never be perfect. Instead, you can expect to continue to grow and evolve and meet your spouse where they are and continue to support them where they're at.
That's really good, hon.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah.
It's really challenging. You know, some of the 3 things that I'm going to be covering does deal with like perceptions going into marriage. And for me personally, that was one of the biggest things that I had to battle against, especially in year 1 and year 2. Year 3, you know, you kind of accept it at that point, and it's a little bit easier to go with the flow of just understanding that, you know, our culture pushes a lot of these ideas and these perceptions of what we think we're getting, you know, thrown into whenever we get married.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's really important to understand that like that's not always 100% accurate of what actually, you know, marriage turns out to be. And that's not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just a thing. And understanding what your marriage is really like and understanding, you know, hey, this is what we're working with and this is how we have to make it grow and make it more healthy. You know, those are really important things to understand. So I thought that was great. All right, so my first one that I'm going to be talking about for me is patience. And I know that can be a little bit cheesy, a little bit, well, no duh, you got to be patient when, especially whenever you're spending the rest of your life with somebody. But the kind of patience that I'm talking about.
Sorry, I thought you were going to say, especially when you're spending the rest of your life with me.
Oh, well, that's definitely true as well.
Okay, go ahead.
But the kind of patience I'm talking about is the way I like to remind myself of it whenever, you know, I struggle with, you know, my day in, day out weaknesses that I have is a patience that's bigger than really anything you can even understand. So let me kind of break that down a little bit. So before we got married, you know, through all of our premarital counseling courses that we went through, one of the things that they talked about was, you know, you need to be patient with one another. Patience is a big thing that plays into marriage. But I never really fully understood the level of patience that was going to be required of me, you know, through year 1, year 2, and in year 3. It's one of those things that you kind of hear people say all the time, well, you know, I know what you're talking about, but I really don't understand until I'm actually in it, until I'm actually living it. And the challenge when your first 3 years of marriage is once you start to understand that, man, I currently don't have the level of patience that I thought I did, or the level of patience that is required in order for, you know, this relationship to be healthy. And that's something that I need to continuously pray about. I need to continuously work on. And that's a day after day after day progress. That's not something that's going to come overnight. So don't beat yourself up if it's one of your weaknesses. Don't allow your own mind to trick you into thinking, man, why am I so bad at this? Why is this something that's not coming natural to me? Because the easy answer is that it's not natural. It's something, it's a skill and it's a trait that you have to grow in and pray about and be diligent in working with every day. So to summarize that again, patience that is beyond anything you could even understand.
Yeah, definitely agree with that one. And that would definitely be one of mine as well. But since we're just keeping it to 3 things, I didn't include that one.
Well, great.
Okay, so I wrote mine down. He has his memorized, I guess. But my second thing that I learned was how important it is to marry someone who truly believes in you. And I don't know where I would be, honestly, without my husband's support over the last 3 years and his encouragement through switching jobs and pursuing different passions. He's never questioned whether he thought I could do any of the things that I wanted to do or any of the things that I put my mind to. He's just always given me his support, and he's always believed in me and encouraged me to pursue and go after the things that I care about and the things that I dream about. So that's not only something that I have learned in the first 3 years, but that's something that I have really, really appreciate. And it's definitely something that I would encourage you guys to look for as well, because how much your spouse believes in you can really change the whole course of your life and where your life ends up going and the quality of your life.
I'm smiling really big right now because that was my second one.
I wondered if we would have any overlapping.
Yeah. Again, we didn't know what the other one was going to say before this. We're going into this blind, just to kind of make it a little bit more interesting. But yeah, my second one is, half that, half something else. But basically the whole message is what Heather said. The way that I wrote my second point down was constant words of affirmation and signs of belief in your spouse. So just to reiterate some points that she said, me, I am a love language guy that my first and foremost is words of affirmation.
Yeah.
I need to be told every day something nice. If a couple hours go by and I don't hear something nice, like I start to get down. And that's a weakness in and of myself sometimes, but it's also something that is just a real thing about me, and a lot of people are the same way. A lot of people need to be constantly affirmed. And, just to play off what Heather said, telling somebody amazing things about themselves while at the same time backing that up with actions such as, being willing to do whatever it takes to show the person that you're connected to, that you believe in them, regardless of what the situation is, that at the end of the day, you're always going to have their back.
Yeah.
You're always going to be right there by their side. You're always going to do whatever it takes to make them feel loved, but not only make them feel loved, but also supported. And the level of support that is so big that they'll never be able to even question it. Does my husband, does my wife believe in me? If I do this, if I make this decision, are they going to be okay with it? It's a big challenge. It's a big challenge to be able to not only show that you believe in your spouse, but also show it so much and so often that they don't even question it anymore. That whenever they're making decisions, internally, their thought process is, well, this is what I need to do. And I know Jerry, I know Jerry's going to have my back. I know my husband, I know my wife, they're going to have my back in this. And I know they're already going to support me. If you can get there, it's going to make things so much easier in your decision-making process, especially whenever the big life-changing things come along. You got to move a city. You got to get a new job. You got to quit a job. You got to do whatever, life's throwing at you at that point. Knowing that your partner has your back is something that's invaluable.
Yeah, and that actually was perfect because that leads into my next one, which is being able to be flexible, because things constantly shift. Your roles can change. You can change jobs, like you said, cities. And it really is important to learn how to be flexible and adaptable and to be able to change along with the, as they say, roll with the punches.
Yeah.
And there were times in our marriage where I was home with our baby and he was working full time. And now we've kind of come to a place where he's doing more of the taking care of our kids so that I can focus on my dreams. And then here in the next couple of months, it's going to shift again and it's going to look even different than that. And being able to, instead of getting down about it or frustrated, being able to be adaptable and grow and change along with those things that are happening in your life. And being adaptable to be able to take on different roles. Like in our marriage, sometimes, he might do more of the cleaning and cooking, and other times I might do more of the cleaning and cooking. And it's not like a static role that either of us has. It's we're a team, and we have to pick up sometimes for the other person because of those changing seasons. And specifically for us, we just had a huge season of change that we had to grow and adapt to, because we actually literally packed up every single thing that we owned into our car and our van while I was pregnant, with a toddler and a cat, and moved all the way across country to a different state and living in someone else's house. And then we're about to be moving again in the next couple of months to a whole new state. And all of this is so that he can pursue his dream and the things that he feels that God has put on his heart. And I'm not mad about that. I want to be able to support him and his dreams and be flexible in that, just like he's been flexible in helping me pursue my dreams.
Yeah, that's good, honey. That's really good. Yeah, I think I'm somebody who lives life with a really firm understanding that life is very seasonal. There's stage after stage after stage. What might be the norm in one season of your life might be the complete opposite in the next season of your life. And now your norm is something different. And being flexible and being able to adapt and having somebody that believes in you are huge. They're huge things that play major roles in how well that next season is going to play out. Understanding that one season is going to lead into another season, which is going to lead into another season, and all those are going to be different. All those are going to have different roles. All those are going to have different challenges. All those are going to have so many different variables that make life very unique in those individual seasons. Being flexible is a huge thing about that. I think that's great.
So that brings us to our last, your third thing that you learned in our first 3 years.
So my last thing, this is very situational. This isn't me saying, I feel like everybody should do this. This is me saying, this is what I've done. This is what I felt like through a lot of prayer has been a really good course of action for myself and in my marriage, in my family. And that third thing is going all out whenever you have the opportunity to. Now, what I mean by that is going big when you can go big, giving it all when you can give it all, taking a trip whenever the opportunity arises, spending time together whenever the opportunity arises, spending responsible money whenever there's an opportunity to spend money on something that furthers goals, dreams, aspirations for either one of you, for your kids, for whatever it may be. I've always been somebody who tries to live life one day at a time by seizing the day that you're currently in. And that's not for everyone. I get that. But I also, I don't want an opportunity or a moment or a chance to make a memory with the people I love pass by. So anytime I have the chance to go big, to go all in, to seize the moment, I do it. Whether that be, trying to make a moment really special. So you're going all out and you're doing all this planning and you got to invest in it, with money sometimes. And you got to make all these things and all these plans in order for this dream, for this goal that you want to happen to come true. Sometimes that looks like, sacrificing a little bit for yourself in order to make something come true for your spouse, whether that may be moving or going to a new job or taking a big leap of faith into the unknown and into whatever God has for you. Yeah, so that's just something that I've always tried to do. And it's something that could really fill years, whether it be 1 or 3 or 10 or 30 or 60. It fills years with memories, and it fills that time that you have with somebody with important things. Because I never wanted to be somebody who a year went by, a decade went by. I have this great fear of just this amount of time that passes, and I look back and I don't remember anything grand. I don't remember anything courageous that we did. I don't remember us actually taking a chance. And I always want us to be people who do those types of things. So that's my third thing, always going big when you can, when it's responsible, always taking leaps of faith, always trusting God in your actions and knowing that, hey, this might seem dangerous, this might seem a little bit scary to me, but I know on the other side of this, God has me. I know if I step off that cliff that I'm not going to fall. God's going to carry me to wherever He has for next. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's really an area that you've helped me grow in our marriage. I feel like before, when I was single, I was more willing to take those leaps and, go big and those different things. But since we've been married, I've been more of like the cautious one. I feel like, and I'm like, oh, we don't need to spend money on that, or, this or that. So you've really challenged me in that area, that when it's appropriate and when it's a memory that we're making, that sometimes it is really awesome to go big when you can. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and this new series that we're starting together. I know I've heard from some of you that you like to hear both perspectives, and it's nice to hear, a male's perspective as well. So I hope you enjoy this. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And again, I'll be sharing in the description box how you can start sending in questions if you would like a question answered in our next Sunday video in the series. And we are not sure what to name the series yet. So if you have any ideas on what you think we should call this series, definitely leave that in the comments as well. And hopefully that will give us some inspiration for next Sunday, and we'll be able to name the series. Also, I want to remind you guys that I did just start a brand new private Facebook group for this community, where I'll be able to share more resources with you guys, free trainings, and where you can connect with other like-minded women who are going through a similar season as you, and just be able to connect and encourage. So I'll also be linking that in the description box, and you can just click that link and request to join, and I will be the person who personally accepts you into the group. So I'm excited for that. And other than that, I look forward to seeing you guys in our next video. Bye.
See ya.